Eddie, just explain who you are and what today's launch is all about.
Okay, my name is Eddie Camcorder. I'm part of the Secretariat that supports the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Conflict Issues, and today we're acting as hosts to an international organisation called the East-West Institute, who are launching an international initiative bringing parliamentarians together from countries around the world to increase commitment to conflict prevention and human security.
How do you think this will help in terms of tackling issues of peace and war?
Well, one of the first things it's going to do is going to raise the profile of this issue. I think that conflict prevention and the whole field of conflict management is where the Green Movement was about 20 or 30 years ago. Gradually, however, it is moving into the mainstream. Today we heard a statement from the Foreign Secretary, David Miliband, welcoming this initiative. I think that people are looking for alternatives to violence as a means for settling conflict, and bit by bit those examples are being brought together and highlighted by groups like this.
You helped to set up the all-party group, which brings together MPs from all political parties in the House of Commons to discuss how we can prevent conflict and how we can resolve conflict.
Yes.
This takes it one stage further, so this is an international group. Where do you think the focus should now be?
Well, it's a dual focus. One is internally. There's still a lot of work to be done within the UK Parliament. Bit by bit we are winning converts to our cause. We are changing soft support, which is interest and sympathy, into hard support. So, for example, an early day motion is being tabled today by one of our members. We're talking about having an adjournment debate. Questions were asked of the Prime Minister just a couple of days ago. So, within each Parliament, parliamentarians need to be more active to raise this issue up the political agenda. And then, of course, internationally, they need to share experience, what works. They need to draw on each other's support, where often there won't be enough support within a country, but the idea that there is a huge network of parliamentarians moving in the same direction can often sway political opinions. So it's all about creating the architecture of peace.
The idea is individual parliamentarians coming together, parliament by parliament, pressing their government to change policy, which is not about fighting wars but about preventing wars, but also this issue about resources. Now, this government has put resources aside for conflict prevention and resolution, so
yes,
that's been a breakthrough. Is that an international pattern now?
Well, there is a growing awareness that this is a necessary approach, and that awareness is producing more resources. But currently the ratio is about $1 spent on conflict prevention to $2,000 spent on arms and military approaches. So we have to show that conflict prevention works and is a much more cost-effective way of dealing with conflict.
This issue isn't on the G20 summit agenda yet, certainly not for the one that will be in London over the next week. Is that our target?
Today, a declaration was made to the G20 by the International Parliamentarians Network, and we will, between now and the G20, be working hard to make sure that that is on the agenda somewhere, even if it's only reflected in the final communique, because everyone around the world is looking for a way of dealing with conflict that is less costly in terms of human lives, suffering and dollars.
So finally, if we don't get a detailed discussion about conflict resolution at this summit, at least we want some reference so that a future summit can focus on this.
That's right, and of course there will be other events sponsored by the network that will keep this in the public eye and in the eye of governments.
How do people get involved?
Well, parliamentarians get involved simply by joining the network on the website. I can't remember the web address.
We'll Google.
Yes, Google the East-West Institute and the Parliamentarians Network, and they'll find it.
And this is supported by the Ministry of Peace as well, so
yes,
people can get involved in that way.
Yes, indeed.
Eddie, thanks for all that you're doing. This is great work.
Okay, thank you.